Andrea, and I'm a stroke survivor. That's weird to say, but it's my truth, and I'm here to tell the story. Well, this just happened in October of last year. I had a stroke that paralyzed my whole right side, and took away my voice completely. What you hear now, it wasn't that girl. It was a regular day. I had an interview that morning. Everything was going okay. I had plans the next day, and just being my normal self. It was on a Friday. I remember going to the bathroom, and I remember falling to the floor. First off, you don't know when you're having a stroke. You don't feel anything. All you know is your right side or left side doesn't move. But I didn't know that going in. I'm sorry if y'all hear that. I'm perimenopausal. I remember being able to still hold my phone, but I couldn't, my right arm is still paralyzed, but I couldn't dial with one hand, if that makes sense. So I locked myself out of my phone. That's important. I locked myself out of my phone. Also, I was fainting in and out, blackout, because you can physically feel yourself passing out. And I would wake up. This happened for hours. I would wake up hours later. And that went on in between me trying to pull myself, because I knew even in this state I didn't want to be found on the floor in the bathroom. Why? I don't know, girl. So I just kept, every time I woke up from a pass out, I would scoot myself a little further out the bathroom. That went on for all night, actually. I couldn't remember that even though I was locked out, I couldn't remember that I had the ability to dial 911. And also, y'all know, and if you don't know, I keep this place locked down. Tell them that my house, it's unable to gain access from outside because I have them sticks on the doorknobs. That was a shit show. I'll get to that. This went on for me passing out and shooting myself up out the bathroom to the side of my bed. Nightstand is, I don't know why, I don't know. But it's better than me being found in the bathroom. Not too much on me. Next day, because I told you I would pass out and then wake up hours later, I did that about 6 times, 6 or 7 times throughout the night, probably more, but as far as I counted, I remember 6 or 7 times. I remember being able to access the emergency contact button on the phone, and I dialed my mom. This was the point where I found out I couldn't speak. When you're home alone, you don't have a reason to speak out loud, you know? So I didn't know that I couldn't talk until I got on the phone with my mom. I'm hysterical when she picks up. I remember yelling, and she's going through every possible scenario. She's going through every possible scenario to get me help. She didn't have anybody's number that lived in the area that could hop my fence in the backyard and possibly gain access into the house. I had a stick on my backyard door. So it was a shit show trying to gain entry. They ended up having to break through my window in the kitchen. I didn't care. Get me out of here. I remember my mom talking to the police, and the police started banging on the door. I hear them telling my mom that I wasn't inside because I wasn't answering. She had her friend on the way. This whole time she's saying on the phone with me, she's telling the police she's in there, she can't talk. Her friend ended up coming down from, like, he's at least an hour away. So her friend started coming down when she was on the phone initially with me. Once they came entry in the house, I had the paramedics there, and I remember them saying, "Are you okay?" First of all, I'm gonna get to how I looked. Mind you, I just had a interview, so I had the braids from my wig. It was, I can't even deal. I looked a mess. Thank God I had on a tank top, but in my drawers. So they put pants on me and he's asking me my name, what day it is. Like, I'm not able to speak. That's when they made the decision to put me in the ambulance and take me to the hospital. I arrived at the hospital. Immediately, I went in for an MRI. Remember, I was saying that I was passing out all night. Within 24 hours, most stroke victims get a shot. I was beyond the 24-hour period at year to have the TPA shot. We got to the hospital, and I also had, outside of my mom, I also had my ex still programmed as my emergency contact. This is the thing. I didn't know he was still listed as my emergency contact. When they asked me, do I want him contacted, I said no. This is gonna sound vain as AF. In my mind, I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking, I look like Fire Marshal Bill. I can't have him see me. Abort mission. Do not call him. Next thing I know, he's at the door. I just fell in his arms weeping, because by that point I figured out I had a stroke. All I can do was cry, because all I can do was cry because I knew my life was about to change for good. Starting my journey to recovery. Here you guys can get updates on how I've been progressing, when I'm up to what I've been doing to heal. If you're a stroke survivor like me, don't feel alone. Reach out if you're so inclined. I know how it feels when you lose your identity, you know. Subscribe if you're on a healing journey, if you're the caregiver of someone on a healing journey. Let me know you're out there. I thank you guys for your support, your constant prayers, just being there for me.